That's a little jam, you know. I keep every time we do the show, I see that the intro. I'm like, dang it, I forgot to change it again. I'm gonna do it today right after this show. Anyway, welcome to What the Fuck Wednesday. This is our weekly relationship advice show where people submit questions in advance. My lovely cousin Candace puts them into a document for me. I read the questions out loud and then I just give my off the cuff answer, which, you know, sometimes it's crazy, sometimes it's very, you know, thoughtful and considerate, but usually it's on the side of crazy more so than anything else. But whatever, that's why people write to me. You can also, if you submit a letter tonight, not only listen to me, but take a look at what they put in the chat room because they're answering the questions, they're addressing your issues as well. And sometimes they have a difference of opinion. Sometimes they live where where you are and they know more about, you know, the politics or the services or the resources or whatever. So they might give you some really good tips. So this show is aired, you know, we have audience all over the world. People write from all over the world, so you just never know. So just pay attention to both things, what I say, excuse me, as well as what's written in the chat stream if you're on YouTube. We also stream on Twitch, so their chats come over here too. So that's it for tonight. We have a total of 26 questions. So I guess we better get started. We'll get started. We will be here on Sunday. I hope you guys had a really good weekend. We'll be here this Sunday. So we were going to do a little bit ago that got postponed. Will be this coming up this Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific time. We're going to be talking about the state of marriage politically and what's going on with that and how it's going to impact women from here forward if these new laws pass. It's going to be interesting. So join us, mark your calendar. You can find the link for that show on the YouTube channel. So let's get started. We got 26 questions. Here's question number 1. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group. She's from Manchester in the UK. Summary of issue. My roommate does not seem remorseful after stealing my money and leaving me broke, and I feel upset that she's getting away with it. A few days ago, my roommate stole my ATM card and withdrew all the money in my account while I sorted out a drought situation we were having. At the time, my bank notified me of the withdrawals. She, parentheses, J, and my other roommate, A, were the only ones present in the hostel. Hostel, I don't know, whatever. I made a report to the security center at my university, and for the 3 days they investigated, I wasn't able to eat properly or attend to any of my basic needs. At the end of the investigation, they confronted her with the fact that they knew she was a culprit, which she first denied. She only owned up when the man heading the investigation let her know that he would be forwarding the case to the suit and disciplinary committee with the recommendation for suspension. Now I'm being told to forgive her since she has agreed to return the money and has won over the investigator officer with crocodile tears. I am beyond upset. I'm livid. It's not as if she felt remorseful and came to meet me to work out how to return my money. If I hadn't reported the theft in the first place, she would never have done anything, even though I was basically starving. I hate seeing how easily she's moved on now because she never faced any real punishment. I wish I could do something to hurt her so badly that she has trauma over it. I hate this. Why did your little butt not go to the police? Now, depending upon, I don't know what the rules are about the dollar value, but here they have like misdemeanor levels, and if it's over a certain amount, it's a felony level charge. I mean, you get a record. There's no negotiating off of that. It would follow her around and she would not be able to work in any kind of financial institution or anything like that because of she had this financial theft on her record. You should have filed a police report in addition to going to the security center at the university. When she stole your money, that put it into crook category. And so you still can do that, though. I mean, if you got your money back, I would still file a police report anyway, because now she's deemed guilty. So it's kind of an open and shut thing. They might tell you, oh, don't press it, this and that. Say, no, I want to press charges because this was criminal. I starved for 3 days. I suffered and I want her to pay for that. So the only way you could do that is with a criminal case. So I would look into that if I were you. I would also demand that I have a different roommate. I don't want to be roommates with a thief, somebody I can't trust. You should have demanded that as well. This is sad. And she gonna take how did she get your password? You need to tighten up your security, girlfriend. She shouldn't have been able to know or even guess your PIN number. You need to do better on that end, okay? So this doesn't happen again. But that's some wild stuff. She just way out of pocket. You nice because she would have took mama, I would have beat her ass. So $400 worth of ass kicking coming right up. Unbelievable. Well, it just happened. So there can't be any statute of limitations that would have impacted her at this point. It just happened. So, that's usually like 6 months, a year, whatever. This just happened. She's cool, clear there. Question number 2. This is a male in the 22 to 27 age group from somewhere in Asia. Summary of issue. I need advice on the best way to handle my crush on my best friend. Oh, God. So basically, I've been friends with this young lady ever since I entered med school 4 years ago. I knew I had a crush on her a couple of weeks into getting to know her, but I still wasn't over getting cheated on from my past relationship, so I didn't really want to complicate things, especially because we get along really well, and I wanted to just to try to be friends. Maybe that's just me not wanting to deal with rejection. I don't know. But anyway, we were pretty much together for the first 3 years, had all the same classes, and the crush that I thought would go away didn't. I just really buried down those feelings, but I didn't really think anything good would come out of me telling her now. I was going to tell her at one point, but one of her close male friends beat me to the punch. She rejected him, but even so, I ended up not going through with it because I had heard stories of women feeling betrayed when they realized that multiple guy friends turned out to just want to get with them. I decided I didn't want to be one of those guys, and I buried my feelings again. A couple of months later, she started seeing someone. I wanted to be a good friend, so I listened to her when she spoke about him. I guess part of me thought that maybe it would shake those feelings off or something. I've tried to distance myself from her a bit, but she always ends up contacting me asking what's wrong. I always end up telling half truths because I can't bring myself to tell her the truth about my feelings. This brings me to the present, where she told a mutual friend from med school likes her and that she might be pursuing that. I continue to try to be a good friend and encourage her to do it. As anyone with a brain could guess, it ate me up inside. I feel like I'm at a roadblock now, and I feel like I should maybe tell her, but it feels like it would be a selfish choice and would only really help me feel better. So I need advice because I'm not sure what the right choice is. Also, I'm sorry if my writing isn't the best. I live in a non-English speaking country, so I haven't really practiced my English writing much. Well, once you said you was in Asia, I kind of knew that. Sir, this is what drives me crazy. And I know some of this is cultural and the rest of it is just you just being dumb. But, I noticed like when any kind of movies or documentaries or anything I watch about Asian culture, there's so much hesitancy there, so much self-doubt, so much insecurity and questioning. It's like I don't the thing about being polite and not, hurting other people taken to the extreme to the point where you guys don't say anything, you don't do anything, and you just hang back and just think something's going to happen by magic. I don't know what that is, but it drives me nuts. So this is the same thing that you're talking about here. What you need to do is figure out, are you going to live the rest of your life like this? You also need to think, okay, if I go up and tell her, and what if she says, I've been waiting for you to say something, then what are you going to do? Are you prepared to be in a relationship with her? If you're not, then don't tell her. If you are, then open your mouth, because that's the only way she's going to know. And you're not going to say that I've been waiting, I've been thinking about this all the time. You're not going to say that. You're just going to say, over the last year or so, as I got to know you better, I can appreciate so many more things about you, and my feelings for you flipped over from friendship to, more interest. But since we had been friends and I didn't want to ruin it or have you, upset at me, I didn't say anything. But now I just feel like I have to just let the chips fall where they may. It's just a risk I have to take. But, I know you're about to go date somebody else, but I just wanted you to know the truth. And then you just leave it at that. And after that, the ball's in her court. So then she can be like, oh, well, I had no idea. She might be a little weirded out by it, feel awkward or something. Then, like I said, on the other hand, you have a 50% chance that she's going to say that I've been waiting for you and wondering when you was going to say something, right? 50-50. So I'm telling you, he just like hanging back and just, oh my God, just dying on the vine with desire for this woman. and you just haven't said nothing. Dude, don't do this to yourself. For the rest of your life, you will be wondering what would have happened if. So just do if, okay? Just do it. Question number 3. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Kansas City, Missouri. Summary of issue: I need to know if I am right or wrong. Okay, here we go. Hold on a second. I need to swig. What's up, Canadian brother? Okay, she says, a few months ago, I had a birthday. I'm not really a social person, and I'm shy, so I only threw a small party for 5 of my closest friends. I knew then that doing that meant that probably other people won't invite me to their parties, but I didn't care at that time. However, a few days ago, I heard that one girl that I know and didn't invite to my party is having a birthday party. And she invited all of my friends except me. She's making a party for like 40 people. At first, I felt bad about it. I felt excluded in that nobody likes me. But later, I thought that maybe it's because I didn't invite her to mine. Now it's kind of an awkward situation because I don't know how to be cool about it and act like it's normal or avoid her because maybe she doesn't like me that much. I do feel bad still and wish I had made a bigger party. But my question is, am I making myself a victim here? It made me sad for a few days, but maybe it's just made a mistake and she's right to not invite me. Also, it's possible that it's my fault because I didn't invite her. What am I, psychic? I know this may sound ridiculous because it's just a party, nothing big, but now I just feel so much worse than my friends. I feel like a stranger that nobody likes because not inviting to a party sometimes can mean that the person is not really liked. Oh my God. Are you kidding me right now? How old are you again? 12, 22 to 27 from Kansas City, Missouri. God, they have dumb people in Kansas City. Yes, I'm saying you're dumb. You know why I'm saying you're dumb? Because right in the beginning, one of the first things that you say is, I'm not really a social person and I'm shy. So I only threw a small party for 5 of my closest friends. Bam. If you're not a social person and you're shy, you shouldn't be worrying about not being invited. You ought to be happy that nobody invited you so you don't have to say no. Right? Most people have these little parties and it's just a bunch of bullshit and drama that comes with it anyway. So what's the big deal? Plus, they be expecting you to buy them a present or to buy a liquor or something. If you don't really like the girl, don't really know the girl that well, why would you even want to go to her birthday party? Think about it. Do something else for yourself fun that day. And don't worry about not going to a party for a girl that you don't really know and don't really care about anyway. You tripping. Please. If I had $1 for every party I didn't get invited to, I'd be rich. And those are the ones that people invite me to. And I say, hell no, I'm not going to your party. And they be like all insulted. Well, why not? Because you suck and your friends suck too. And I'm not trying to be in that mix. I just tell people. Because, if you haven't been around them or their family or friends or something, you get a feel for what kind of antics they're going to be up to at a party where there's liquor. No. No, 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 no. No, she don't need to spend money as a gift. She don't need to be bothered with this woman or this worried about this party at all. And all this whole letter was just a waste of time and words. Whew. Question number 4, male, 18 to 24 from Nashville, Tennessee. Summary of issue: this girl left her makeup in my car. Oh, she didn't. I'm 21. I've been dating casually for about a year. I'm not looking for anything serious, and the girls that I see know that. I met this girl, she's 20 or 21, something like that, I forget, about 2 weeks ago, and we went on 2 dates. But the second time, I noticed that she brought some makeup. We went out to eat, and she kept joking about leaving her stuff in my car so that if any other girls come into the car, they'd know I was seeing someone. And he put a whole bunch of question marks. I didn't find this joke funny because I knew she was serious. When she was getting out, I asked her if she had all her makeup. I knew she planted it somewhere in the car. She just giggled and said that she couldn't find it. I said very seriously that I didn't want her to leave anything and to make sure she had all her stuff. I also think she wanted an excuse to see me again, but because of this, I was just really turned off. When I got home, I found mascara in the passenger door and lip gloss under the mat. I told her a few days later I didn't want to see her again after that stunt and threw her makeup in the garbage can. Good job. Was I wrong? Why would a girl do that to a guy who's not her boyfriend? Because she's stupid. Because she's stupid. A lot of women like to use that trick about leaving something at a dude's house because then it gives them an excuse to go back or to see him again or something. But I'm telling you, if I was a dude, I would have done just like you. So you get a round of applause. But you did good to even call her to tell her you was going to see her again. I just would have blocked her and then threw away her stuff. So you did one better than I would have to call her and let her know. She's just stupid. You know what I mean? That just comes across so desperate and just ugh. Why you gonna try to do somebody like that? You don't think the dudes in this day and age would fall for that stunt. I don't know. I don't know, Faith. I don't know. It's just embarrassing. It's embarrassing that somebody would be that stupid. Yeah. Well, anyway, dude, you're not wrong. You did the right thing. Like I said, you should feel blessed because you at least called her and checked her. But I wouldn't even have done that. So good job. Question number 5, female in the 20 to 34 age group from Northampton in the UK. Summary of issue. Well, yeah, if she was his girlfriend, then he would have just took the stuff into his house because probably would have went home with him. You know what I mean? So it wouldn't have been a big deal. But that was only their second date. We've been together for a while and I are still really attracted to each other. I trust him fully. Whenever they start this, it's always going to be drama. We both use each other's phones at times if needed, and I was using his to look up something on Facebook because I don't have the person on mine, and noticed he had searched for a girl from his new job. He's been there around 6 months now. We are both 33, and this girl is around 21, 22. So then I looked on Instagram, and he had searched her there too. I didn't say anything and found the details I needed. It was a photo with details of an event posted by someone I don't have on Facebook, and handed him his phone back. I don't know if he finds her attractive and wanted to look at her social media out of curiosity. I haven't mentioned it at all because I don't want to sound insane and trust that he would never ever cheat on me. How would this make you feel? You guys can answer that. Do you think it's natural to find other people attractive? I know I have, and that I have no right to feel jealous over this, or do I? You have the right to feel jealous over any and everything that you want to. I don't ever tell people what they can feel. Only thing that you control, you don't really control feeling jealous, angry, upset, disrespected. Those kind of things just come based on the situation. The only thing that you control is your response to it, what you say and what you do. That you control that. But the initial gut reaction, you don't control that. That's visceral, emotional. It just happens. And usually if you care about somebody, you will feel at least a little tinge of jealousy. So in a situation like that, I would have, if I were you, say, so you looking up this girl from your job, what's that all about? I would have just asked them. That comes across as creepy. You're looking at somebody like, are you interested in this girl? Is that what's happening? See, I don't know, maybe I'm just too direct because I sure would have wanted to know. I would have asked them. Why are you looking up people from your job like that? Do you look up the dudes or you only look up young women that just, young ladies that go to your job? But you're trying to get something going with girlfriend? What's happening here? Let me know, because one thing I don't want to do is be part of no triangle situation. So if you want to go over there, you just tell me. We can break this shit off right here, right now. That's how I feel. Don't drag me through no drama and no big, hoop-de-doo. You want to do that? That's fine. We're not married. Even if you was married, you could still do that. We'll get a divorce. But either way, I'm not gonna go through no changes about you and some bitch. So what's happening? Well, why are you doing this? What was your motivation? Because I want to understand what your mindset was. And then if he tells me there's something I don't like, I'll break up with him. Boop. I just don't. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, ex-love. This is just too much. Yeah, I wouldn't like that at all. I mean, I know people are going to look, but the fact that they work together and she just started there, he's been there 6 months. You know what I mean? That's just a little bit too tinged with problems for me, potential problem. Question number 6. This is a young man in the 22 to 27 age group from Denver. The female in question is in the 18 to 21 age group. Summary of issue, how should I respond to a girl I am talking to after she said we can only go out as friends? We are talking for the last 2 days, and I asked her out about 30 minutes ago. She says we can go out as friends and that she isn't a person for relationships and stuff like that. I still haven't responded because I'm just not sure what to say. Is she just letting me down nicely? I still didn't get to know her enough to fall in love with her or anything like that. I wouldn't mind going as friends as part of me hoped it would be a date. So I'm feeling a bit shitty right now. And I definitely wouldn't like to go as friends if that's just her excuse to turn me down. It would just be out of pity then. Deb, I am 22 and I've never been on a date or in a relationship. I was talking with a few girls during the last couple of years, and when I always go nicely with them telling me they were like talking to me and stuff, and that I seem nice, fun, stuff like that. But as soon as I ask them out for a drink, they come up with some excuse, answers get shorter, or they simply ghost me. So, in conclusion, what should I say to her? I don't want to say something that can hurt her feelings, but I also don't want to let her basically walk over me and pity me either. Dude, because a woman says go out as friends and it would be the first time she goes out with you, it doesn't mean that she pities you. You just going way too deep with it. What it means is she wants to put you on notice. Don't expect any kind of romantic overtures. You ain't kissing her. You ain't holding her hand. You're not going to put your arm around her. You're not going to play footsie under the table. You're not getting no kisses. You're not going to snuggle and you're not hugging. That's what that means. But as far as hanging out with you and exploring, what kind of person you are and stuff, she would be willing to do that. But she's already put up a boundary to let you know what time it is. But you're not understanding it. You're thinking that it's pity and it's something bad. She said that to protect herself from you having expectations that you shouldn't have on a first date. That's what she did. So if I were you, I would call her back and I'll say, yeah, that sounds like fun. Let's do that. Let's do that. But when we go out as friends, we go Dutch, right? Because I only pay for my dates. But yeah, we can do that. And if you want to, we can hang out. It'll probably be fun. She's like an interesting person. We can chit chat, jaw jack, and have a snack and see what happens. Just enjoy each other's company for an evening, just to get out the house and not be bored. That sounds pretty good to me. What about you? And then she'll be fine with it. No, he shouldn't run and keep it moving because he has no dating experience. This would be a golden opportunity for him to get some in a non-threatening environment where neither one of them has expectations. So no ex-love, nope. He should do this. He should do this. He needs to do this. Because it's going to help him with his development. And he'll get some practice interacting with women in a platonic way, but in a different environment than like school or work. More social. It's something he needs to do. So obviously, it's like a lot of people when they're in their teens, they do the group date thing. It gives you kind of the experience of dating, but without the pressure, like what you would have here, because it's a group of friends just hanging out, right? It's the same principle here. But he evidently missed all that, so he's got to do it now. And this is his opportunity. Question number 7. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Summary of issue: I have friend drama. I've been friends with this girl for over 20 years. We went to elementary, middle, and high school together and literally have been in the same spaces since I was 12. She's been dealing with a lot recently. Her husband went to jail about 6 or 7 years ago and left her with 3 kids. She has been struggling financially. I've been there for her literally through thick and everything if my own finances allow it. Anytime she needs me, gas money, kids are hungry, she's late on the light bill, everything. A lot of times she says she pays me back, but rarely does this happen. Most times I don't even ask for her because I know her situation. Her family does little help, even though she helps them whenever they call. Okay, so she's an idiot. It's been years, and that's what our friendship has been. I can count on one hand how many times she's assisted me with anything. Okay, so then this is long, so I'm going to skip some of this. Most times okay, wait a minute. Now, recently she borrowed a larger sum of money from me than I would usually give her. I let her borrow it even though she has yet to pay me back any other money. I know this is stupid, but I know she has kids and I really feel for the situation. Most time it's amounts that I can afford to let go, but this time I needed it because I had so many things to do. She said she paid me back the following week. It's been 6 weeks now and I haven't heard anything from her. I texted her last week and she said that she had some side work planned for the next day to give me the money, but you guessed it, I didn't hear a beep from her. It's honestly not so much about the money, it's the lack of respect and appreciation that I'm realizing. How do you owe someone money and not say a mumbling word in 6 weeks, knowing full well you were supposed to give it back a week after borrowing it? Maybe I've done this to myself for letting her slide with so many loans in the past, but this is different because I literally asked her back, so I let her know that I needed it. There's been no contact whatsoever. I feel completely disregarded. She's honestly not a very good friend. I call her and check on her. I'm there for her kids, ask her how she's doing, etc., but she doesn't reciprocate any of that. If we talk, it's because I initiated. I understand she's going through a rough time, but we're all battling things. I don't mean to make her seem like a horrible person because she's not. We've had many great times and conversations. I honestly just don't think she's a good friend, but also I don't know how to end a 20-year friendship. But one thing I do know is I'm trying to give it 100% while she gets 15. I'm trying to understand what you get out of this, quote, friendship. I wish you had said how much the money was, so then we would know if you need to go to small claims court or what. Because you know what, she got some kids and she got a man in prison. She should have went and put them kids on AFDC. That's what she should have done, so she would have some money to help support her kids. But if she didn't do that, she didn't apply for subsidized housing, she didn't do stuff that would help her while there's only one income and one parent in the house with 3 kids, then she just being stupid. I don't know what to tell you. So one thing you have to do, my grandfather used to always say, never loan money that you can't afford to not get back. That is the criteria for loaning money. I've loaned several different people, $50 to $100, and I knew I wasn't going to get it back. And so, and you don't. And so then you just go on with your life. So I feel like it cost me $50 to $100 to get rid of trash out of my life. That's not bad. That's not bad. Because when you call them trucks to come and haul stuff from your house, it's $400, $500 to take the trash out. So if it only costs you $50 to get rid of that trash, that's a bargain. Okay. So that's how I look at it. So you understand you ain't never going to get that money back. But what you now have is a reason when she calls and asks you for anything else to say no. Say, I'm not going to give you any more money because of how you did me before. I told you I needed it. And so don't ask me for anything else. The well has dried up. Any money you need or any kind of crisis you have, you're going to have to fix it some other way that doesn't involve me. And then you hang up your phone. Okay? Because like you said, that's not a friend. It's not a friend. Not a buddy at all. Question number 8. This is a male on the 18 to 21 age group from Concord, California. Subject issue, looking for your take on this statement. Hi, Deb. I found your page on Twitch and decided to write to ask you about something that's been on my mind a lot. I'd love to get your and the ladies' feedback on the statement, quote, you either trust me or you don't, end quote. For some reason, it rubs me the wrong way, and I'm not sure why. Having said that, I've spoken to a couple of people that feel the same way as the statement. What is your take on that statement? What are you talking about? It's true. Either you trust the person or you don't. If you don't trust the person, then there's certain barriers and boundaries to your life and information, access to your money, access to your home, access to your knowledge, access to your children, certain things that you just won't allow that person because you don't trust them. You view them with suspicion, the side eye, like what's really going on. You doubt, you question, you're suspicious. That's lack of trust. Now, if you trust a person, then everything's gravy. But if you don't, there's some little doubt somewhere in there, then you're just going to be very hesitant to let that person in and to expose too much of yourself. So, I mean, I don't understand why it rubs you the wrong way. Do you want somebody to have to prove to you that they should trust you or that you should trust them? Nobody's going to do that because nobody gives a fuck about you like that. Okay, so get over yourself. Either you trust the persons that come into your life or you don't, and then you just let them know you don't, or you keep them at arm's length, and keep your business close, play your cards close to your vest, and you don't tell them stuff that, they might hurt you with. You don't do things that gives them information or access that might come back to haunt you or bite you in the butt. That's what that means if you don't trust people. I don't understand that. Why it rubs you the wrong way. I think that's the hardest part for me to understand. You just want to go in the door with people trusting you for no reason, Just based on the strength that you walked in the door with your 2 little midget legs? That's it? Good luck with that. Question number 9. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Cambridge, Massachusetts. Male, same age group. Summary of issue. My boyfriend hits and throws things when he's angry and says that because it isn't directed at me, it is him specifically not directing it towards me. And so I shouldn't be afraid. After I told him that it scares me, I'm unsure how to proceed. Oh my God, that was the longest summary in the world. I'm 24. I've been with my 27-year-old boyfriend for about 7 years. And he has repeatedly done things that have frightened me. And yet you stayed. He had told me when we first started seeing each other that he had anger problems, but that he'd done a ton of work and was okay. He is not currently in therapy, but said he took an anger management course back then, which was about 10 years ago. Well, about 3 years into our relationship, we fought and he hit a partition wall. He has hit the dashboard, steering wheel while yelling at me in the car. He has thrown objects and broken them while in a fit of anger. The conflicting part is that I've been with him for so long and listened to his justification that now I generally feel unsure what is true. He says he's directing his anger away from me, therefore I shouldn't be afraid. His response when I told him that he scares me sometimes. He told me that his therapist told him that getting his anger out by throwing things is healthy compared to a stress ball. Says I don't have sympathy for him trying to keep it together. Says he only really gets angry when I don't listen or misunderstand him. This doesn't feel right to me. I don't know what to do. Is this a healthy form of expressing anger in a relationship, or is this a major red flag? Is it worth trying to get him to understand? Any advice on how to approach this? Yes, you pack your shit and leave, which you should have done 7 years ago when he did it the first time. But you've been dealing with it for 7 years, and now you want to make it be a problem? See, I don't understand you women. You deal with stuff for years, decades sometimes, and then all of a sudden it bothers you. And then you want to write me, oh, well, yeah, he's been doing it for 12 and 77 years, and but now I don't understand it, and I don't know what it means. Stupid, that's what it means. It means you're dumb. That's it. Actually, I found this thing here. And did I not upload it? I guess I didn't. But anyway, it just means that you're just being stupid. That's what that means. The other thing, my belief is my personal way I would have handled this. I believe in matching energy. I match men's energy. So when he commits to hitting shit, I would start hitting shit too. And he start flinging stuff. Oh, let me join this. I'm going to start flinging some stuff in his direction. Not at him, but in his direction. So he can feel it whiz by just like I did when he threw stuff in my direction. When he's going to throw something and break something, I'm going to pick up something and break it too. See, that's what, when you're allowing yourself to feel intimidated and fearful, he gets his jollies off of that. The only way that you can make that not happen is to do it back to him. So every time he hits something, you hit something. He starts yelling, you yell louder. He wants to fling something, you fling something. He starts breaking shit, you break shit. You see what I mean? So every time he does something like that, you're going to mirror his behavior. And he's going to be sitting there looking crazy because no woman has ever done that. So he doesn't really get to see what he looks like because nobody's ever shown it to him. That would be the approach that I would have taken, and I would have done it the very first time he did it. And he starts trying to yell at me. I would have said, God damn it, where you think you could yell at me? And we would have went on from there. Because you're going to start yelling at me, I'm going to yell right back. And so, if you can't do that, though, if that's not a game that you think you can play successfully, the best thing for you to do is to leave this relationship. I don't understand why you would be in a relationship with a man who scares you. That doesn't sound healthy at all. Does that sound reasonable and healthy to you? I'm curious because it doesn't to me. I would just be doing it just for the, shits and giggles, not because I was scared. I would do it just because I'd want to see his reaction to me doing just what he does and see how he, how he responds. That's why I would do it. It wouldn't be because I would be afraid. Yeah, I'm telling you, just fling some shit. Just fling it. Just fling, 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 fling. Question number 10. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from St. Paul, Minnesota. Summary of issues: declining the advances of an older 40-ish male coworker. Okay. Every week lately, these old men, married, most of them, be trying to holler at the young girls on their job. It's just so stupid. You're right, Tien. I would probably enjoy it because I like flinging things. I graduated college and started a new job this week, and I'm really enjoying it so far. The people in my department are really helpful and don't mind that I'm kind of an airhead at times. We spend most of the time in the common room if there's no need to be in the lab, and the common room has desks and people will usually be working or taking a break. There's an external consultant, a 40-ish man, who often comes to leave and collect samples at the lab, and in between he likes to chill or join Zoom meetings in our common room. I first met him when I started a few days ago, and he has been asking me constantly if I would go out with him for dinner or drinks. Deb, he is married with kids. I told him I wasn't comfortable going out with him, and he kept insisting, and I kept saying no to his request. He would ask me when it was just the two of us in the room, which made me feel uneasy. He kept saying stuff like, if you are worried about coworkers finding out, it's not an issue because I rarely come to the lab. And I still said no, but he just won't leave me alone. I don't drive and rely on the staff bus to get home. Yesterday, most of the department clocked off early and he was around. He's always around. And he offered me a ride home. I said no, they don't mind staying at work until the bus comes. Then the lady chimed in and said that he's fine and not harmless at all, and that she was getting a ride from him too. Deb, I felt pressured and I agreed because I thought if someone else would be in the car, then I should be fine too. Nope. She was being dropped off where she left her car on the next street. I then asked to be dropped off at the public station instead because I didn't feel safe having him know where I live. The whole journey was uncomfortably long. When he pulled up at the station, he wouldn't unlock the door. He kept insisting on drinks. I kept saying no, and I was starting to feel scared. Eventually, he unlocked it when I said I would think about it. I was happy to be out of that car. I want to know how I can respectfully decline his advances in a way he'll understand without jeopardizing my job or future prospects. Even though he's a consultant, he's close with the directors and also consults for other big companies in my field. I want this to stop, but I know how these men are when it comes to rejection. Please help me. You're going to have to say no. And in a way, he asks you when nobody else is around, don't be around alone with him. That's the first thing. When you look around in the break room and you see other people leaving, you leave too. Go back to your desk. Don't be in there. Stop being in there where he is. That's step number one. Number two, you need to talk to some of the senior female employees. Tell them what's going on and ask for their advice. They know the management there better than you do and might know someone who, would jump on this dude with both feet. The other thing I would do too is, if he happens to catch you alone, just say he catches you alone outside the bathroom or something like that, you need to start yelling. He's going to be putting pressure on you and you're going to say, stop asking me to go out with you. You're married. I told you no 50 times. Leave me alone. I'm not going to drink with you. I'm not going to go out to dinner with you. I don't want anything to do with you. You're married. Stop it. And you're going to yell that so that everybody hears it. Then he'll leave you alone. They have some ideas in the chat room too for some stuff to do. But she's more worried about, because she just started there, that, getting some problem with her job and stuff. If it's going to bother you to have a job there where they cover for this kind of a man that harass, you don't want to work there anyway. You want a place where they support their female employees, especially new ones that are young like you, against older, predatory, married men. You don't want to work in a place that would have a problem with you reporting his behavior versus his behavior. So start there, like I said. So find one of the senior female employees and tell her what's happening and get her advice. You know what I mean? See what they have to say. Because you need some support. And that would be a good way to do it. You never know. I mean, he might have done the same thing to them too. You never know. Well, she didn't say anything about HR. And you know what's so amazing to me? This guy's a consultant, so he's got a contract. So HR really wouldn't have anything to do with him. He's not an employee. HR only works when you have an employee. It's an employee. He's not. So what you have to do, like I said, is talk to the female employees first, get some tips and suggestions from them. If they don't really have any or don't know what to do, then you're going to take the approach I said, where you're going to just loud talk him in front of everybody, embarrass and humiliate him, and then walk off and go to your desk. One of the people, the directors, will probably come and ask you what just happened, and then you can tell them about, especially the thing about how he locked you in the car and wouldn't you let you out. That's like kidnapping. This dude is bad news. Well, what HR does is protect the company. HR doesn't give a shit about employees. So HR could just as easily terminate her, since they see they feel like she's the problem. HR, I would not go to HR on this. I would, like I said, find out who's who, because there might be one or more of the directors who are, even though they know this guy, are more open to this kind of stuff. You just never know. She's too new there. She doesn't know the lay of the land yet. That's why I feel like she'd be best to consult with some of the female employees that have been there for a while. They have more knowledge about, who's who and what's what. And they might even go with her to the right person. But, just reporting, HR is so fucking useless. They're useless. Their job is to protect the company. And that's a fine line. If they have a consultant and they feel like this consultant's doing good work, is it going to be better to lose her or to lose the consultant? You see what I mean? Their job is to protect the company. So they're going to choose their choice that's going to be the best for the company. And it may not be her because she's brand new, and they feel like if it's a problem and she's still in her probationary period, the best solution is to get rid of her. And she knows that. So I think my approach is the best and smartest approach, to circumvent HR and go around them directly to the directors, but with the assistance of some staff that's in the know. Let's move on. Question number 11. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Tampa, Florida. I have been faking it in my relationship and I want to come clean, but I don't know how. Oh my God. I've been with my boyfriend for about 4 months. We're both 25, and I won't lie. The first time we did it, it was quite bad, but he was genuinely interested in making it good, and is a very good partner outside of that. So I stuck with it. But since then, it's gotten better, but I've never climbed the mountain. I've only had one partner that could do that. After that relationship ended, I started SSRIs. Wait, aren't those like the antidepressants? Which made climbing the mountain really difficult. So I got in the habit of faking it with prior partners. I'm no longer on those medications, but it's a hard habit to drop. I guess I just didn't take it. I didn't take it for about a month with my current boyfriend, but I gave up and wanted him to feel good, and now I'm stuck. The other night, I decided to try harder to coach him on what I wanted. There's really only one position where I can even get close, but he kept trying other things. I'm not sure if it was too physically tiring to do what I wanted or why he wasn't listening, but I got frustrated and just went to bed. He obviously doesn't know that I've been faking it and doesn't understand that I'm frustrated, but I'm not sure where to go from here. Do I come clean about faking it or just quit faking it moving forward? I feel shitty for lying and wanting him to try harder when he doesn't know the full story. Just the other night, he was saying how he doesn't want to be one of those guys that can't please their girlfriends, and I felt so terrible. Yet I also felt a weird sense of resentment, despite the fact that I'm the one causing this issue. What the heck should I do, Deb? You're just going to have to come clean. I would start with what happened the other day and say, I was trying to get you to understand that, this other situation was one that was been the best pleasure for me, and you kept doing everything else. Why did you not pay attention to what I was trying to do? And get his explanation. Well, this and that, blah blah blah. It's like, no. If your woman is telling you that she wants to do this, then you as a man need to listen, because she knows her body, you don't, and she's trying to guide you, and you're not hearing her. You doing what you want to do, and it made the situation so upsetting for me. I just went to bed. And then he's going to sit there and look stupid. Say that's the sign of a good lover, is a man who listens and who's tuned in to what his woman wants. When you're not tuned in, you tuned into yourself, and you make for a very bad situation in the romantic department. So you need to tell him that. Tell him that part and see what he says. So then, you know that's what you like. You know that'll get you there. He should be doing that thing then. And you shouldn't have to explain to him anymore. If you're trying to, maneuver to that situation, you should be able to do it and he should be cooperative. If he gives you any lip, for you, I mean, you say he's great about everything else. I wouldn't give a fuck if he was great about everything else. If you're not going to listen to me, then we don't have this year is over, Junior. There's no point in me continuing this. One thing I do not like to do is be disappointed. So that wouldn't work for me. I would, but you had good reasons for the faking it because of the medication and all that. But, you need to stop doing that. It's unfair to both of you. Okay. It creates a very bad situation where he's living in a false reality, thinking he's like this hitting it all major, and you sitting up there mad. That doesn't work. Well, yeah, and he's just, well, we'll see what he does after she spills the beans. Question number 12. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from the UK. Summary of issue. My ex wants to spend time with me, but not be back together. Oh, does he? So my ex and I are studying in the UK. We're both international students, and we keep in touch as we are living all by ourselves in a foreign country. So we both thought we have moved on after 11 months of the breakup, but it looks like we both have unresolved feelings for each other. And it kills me how you girls put we when you mean you. Dudes just be after some booty. And you feel, it's feelings, it's unresolved, there's still love, and it don't be nothing of the sort. He replied to my Instagram story a week before, and then that conversation went on for hours. By the end of the conversation, he said he barely wants to book tickets from his city to come to mine and spend time with me. I bet he does. He asked me repeatedly to come to his place as well. I feel like he's asking all this to only do stuff because, well, my gut says he misses my warmth. Yeah. You're below the waist warmth. Well, as international students, we are both homesick at each other's company, even after the breakup is always comforting. I wanted to go as well and keep it casual and just have some fun. But then he became mean to me yesterday because of something else, which wasn't even my fault. He got pissed at me because his female best friend gave me a follow request, and I told him about it, and he was like, I don't care. I told him I mentioned this follow request from his bestie because I was overthinking and that I thought he needed to know. And he said, do me a favor and keep your overthinking to yourself. I just don't want to be in this mess at the present. It feels so insecure for me because he is always hot and cold to me. Okay, so then why are you writing this letter about him? Why are you still talking to him? Why have you not blocked him? Deb, as much as I miss him and crave to be in his arms all over again, I think it is me who will get so hurt in the end because I'm the most sensitive and vulnerable here. I couldn't unlove him at all, but then I know I deserve better. Thank you for any guidance you can provide. You need your ass kicked. You need some sense knocked into you. Block this fool so that you can start on your healing journey. You've been broken up with him for 11 months. So that means you've been in the UK for like at least a year, probably more like a year and a half. So why don't you have other friends? Why don't you have other friends that are international students? Why don't you get out and meet some people if they're not from your same country, from neighboring countries? Why are you stuck on stupid on this fool? You're not going to go anywhere with him, and he's not coming to your house. You're going to block him from your phone so he can't call you anymore. You're going to stop thinking about him, and you're going to move on and make new friends and live your life in the UK as a single woman. That is what you're going to do. You're going to stop looking behind you at what's in the rearview mirror, and you're going to turn around and look forward at what's in front of you and the many, many options and choices that you have of your shiny, bright new future. That's what you're going to do. This whole letter is a waste of time. This whole letter indicates that you are not focused on what you need to be focused on, which is what's coming, where you're trying to go and what you're trying to do. Instead, you're talking about the past and him and some random girl on the Instagram or some shit, just stupid stuff, just dumb. Do better. Okay, this is very irritating that you just fall for his game this easy. Question number 13. This is a female in the 42 to 49 age group from Gershom, Oregon. Never heard of it. Summary of issue: trying to determine if boyfriend is jealous of my teenager or acting appropriately. I started dating a new guy about 3 weeks ago. We've been friends for a long time. And after a recent breakup with a complete liar, he asked me to dinner. We get along great and have for years as friends. He knows that I have a 17-year-old son. Fortunately, his dad and I are great parents. We don't have a strict schedule for weekends or nights or custody. My son just lets me know when he's coming to the house and vice versa. However, I recently moved to a new house about the time I started seeing this new guy, and my son wanted to stay at my house a lot more. In fact, he's been in my house all week. I'm truly grateful for that. I've told my son that I'm going to dinner or show with my new boyfriend, and then I come home about 10:30, 11 because I don't want son to think I'm shacking up with my new guy. A 17-year-old? Why do you care? That's almost grown man. Well, for the last 2 nights, I told my new boyfriend that I could stay with him at his house, but my son has changed plans and said he was sleeping at my house, so I had to go home. My new boyfriend seemed understanding, but last night he said, "You're not in control of your own schedule, and you are jeopardizing our time together." What he merely means is sleeping together, because I have been with him for at least 2 hours each evening all week. I said, "Okay, well, I may have to tell my son I'm going out of town tonight, Saturday, so you can stay over at your place." And he said, "Well, thank you." I could tell he's been irritated. So I found myself getting annoyed about this and almost telling him to take a hike. It's my son's last year with me before he goes to college, and I don't want to waste a minute of hanging out with him. I would love some advice on this. Should I have better boundaries with my son? Of course, he can drive now. He has his own stuff sometimes in the evening with his friends. How should I handle this? If you're gonna be with the dude that you know that you've been knowing for all these years and get along with so well, then you're gonna have to tell your son that he's gonna have to be at the house by himself sometimes. He's 17. It's not like he's 12. What are you doing? Nobody said you stand at the boyfriend's house for a week. It's an overnight. What is the big deal? We were standing by ourselves when we were 14 and 15, and you can't trust a 17-year-old? Is he special needs or something? Where he needs mommy? And they do have, when kids go to college, they do have these things called weekends where they come and visit their parents. Parents go to the campus. Shocking, isn't it? So you can still see him. It's not like he's going to go into a black hole and never be seen again until he graduates or something. I think you're doing too much for a boy who's this old. You could tell the dude you'll spend one night with him and just make it a regular schedule. Friday or Saturday, alternate the nights or Sunday, whatever night you pick, but alternate so it's not always the same night of the week, and you would have some of those nights with your son before he goes away. That would be my recommendation, because you need to have yourself set up for life after he's gone. Your kids are not your life, okay? Too many women make this mistake. You are an adult. You have needs for intimacy, for companionship, for love, and for everything else that your child is not going to meet. And to try to put that responsibility on kids, which a lot of women do, but they put that on their sons, it's wrong, okay? So you need to tell your son, I'm trying to build myself a life post-divorce. Your daddy, he got his life. I want to set myself up with one too, because you're going to be an adult. You're going to get married and have your own family. And I need to make sure that I'm taking care of myself in this direction. And this is the first thing I want to do, is start setting out one night a week where I'm not going to be here. I'm going to be with my man. Okay. So is that okay with you? I mean, we could talk about it. You can skip that night, or you just be here by yourself. Which one do you want to do? And work that out. She just being stupid. She's trying to use the kid as an excuse. That's not fair to him either. Question number 14. I'm a male. This male, Greensboro, North Carolina. Oh, she forgot to put the age. Pet sitting and my raggedy friends is the summary of the issue. I'm being deployed for the military and have a few little tree frogs I've been keeping as pets the last few years. I was hoping to find someone to care for them, but I have been unable to, and it's getting close. I suppose I'm going to have to give them to a local pet store, but I was really hoping to find someone to take care of them while I'm away so I can get them back when I return. But the refusal by everyone to do me this favor is really irritating me. Am I being unreasonable? The care is easy. You just need to make sure they have water and give them some crickets every week or so. But I can get why someone wouldn't want to deal with that. But on the other hand, it's the things you don't want to do that you do for others that separates a real friend / family member from a fair weather associate. Further, one of my supposedly closer friends, instead of just saying no, replied with stupid jokes like he was going to feed them to his cat or I should leave them in a river. A no would be fine, but the denigrating pisses me off. He's stupid. It's like telling him to put his cat or dog to sleep. I probably would have forced my parents to take him, but they're old and I'm sure I want to do that. I'm not going to ask again because it's making me feel like I only have friends who are friends when it's convenient for them. So I guess my two questions are, should I just give them to the pet store? Or number two, am I wrong for being pissed off at everyone's refusal to help me out? Yes, you're wrong for being pissed off. First of all, assuming responsibility for somebody's animals for how long is the deployment? 6 months, 8 months? I mean, a year? I mean, I don't know. But whatever it is, it's not like it's a weekend. Okay? Even a week or two. You're talking months. What if they want to go away for a week or two? Then they got to worry about who's going to take care of your frogs while they're gone. That's why nobody want to be bothered with your frogs. Okay? And who keeps tree frogs anyway? What's wrong? Like you a 10-year-old boy. Give them damn things to the pet store. You want to, when you get back, you want to get some different tree frogs. I'm sure they won't notice the difference that it's you or anybody else, as long as they getting their crickets. Yeah, nobody be watching this. He mad because nobody want to watch his damn frogs. And reptiles have a smell. I'm sorry, because we always had turtles, and they have a smell. We keep them clean, change the water sometimes twice a day, this and that. But they walk around the house and they do their thing, and we keep them clean. We wax their little shells and we do all the stuff, but they still have a smell. Reptiles have a smell. Not everybody wants to be bothered. They cats and dogs in people's houses that have a smell, and the people that have those animals usually don't smell it, but people coming into their house can smell it right away. It's just, it is what it is. But, don't be getting mad at people because they don't want to be bothered with your damn frogs. You tripping. This letter was almost funny. Question number 15. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group from Calgary, Canada. Summary of issue. My boyfriend has been making negative comments about my body. Oh, he has he? We've been together for a little while now, and we're very compatible. I beg to differ. Even though I am his type, the only thing that I'm skinny, and he prefers women with big butts and fuller figures, which I don't have. I thought he was fine with it, but recently he's been making jokes about my body, which really hurt me. He says he's only joking and he calls me beautiful all the time. But he knows I used to struggle with an eating disorder, so comments like that can really affect me over time. I've been trying to brush it off, but it's hurting me. Okay, you said that already. He apologized and said he won't make those jokes again, but this morning he was making comments about me being skinny all over again. He could tell I was upset, but he told me he was sorry and was just in a bad mood due to some drama he had last night with his friends. Since he left, I've been crying and I feel so horrible. I haven't felt insecure about my body in years, but I can feel it creeping up on me again. I've never once made a joke or negative comment about my boyfriend's body because I know how that can affect people. What do I say to him? He's an amazing boyfriend, but I can't keep hearing these comments about myself because it's starting to affect me mentally. How is he amazing when he does stuff like that, where you keep telling him to stop and it hurts you, but he keeps doing it anyway? Where does this, you girls kill me? Oh, he's nice, he's great, he's amazing. Where is the amazing part when somebody's intentionally emotionally abusing you over and over again? Your concept of amazing in mine is way different. He's a jerk. He's an asshole. He's just the worst boyfriend ever. Any man who wants to intentionally hurt his girl is a fool, and he's just useless. He's abusive, and he should be jumped as quickly as possible. So what I want you to do, as soon as you hear this answer, I want you to call him and say, you know what? We're going to break up now because your negativity about my body is affecting me. And it's affecting me in a bad way. I've asked you repeatedly not to talk to me like that. You keep making like it's a funny joke. Motherfucker, when people tell a joke, everybody in the room is supposed to laugh. Ain't nobody laughing but you. So I'm done with your ass. Don't you ever call me again. Leave me alone. Lose my number and stay the fuck away from me. That's what you need to say. And if you can't say it, just play this part on the phone where I just said. He's trash. He's trash. This dude is the worst. And I'm going to abuse you because I had a bad time with my friends. That's supposed to be his justification. But, because you're such a nice person, you haven't said some nasty stuff to him. Because I would have said so. When you want to talk about somebody skinny, let's talk about your dick. Okay, the little narrow ass shit. You think because there's a certain length that's hitting on something, that don't really feel that good. But do I complain about it? No. But, it is a joke. So I'm making a joke now. Are you laughing? I make a joke. You should be laughing. That's how I would talk to his ass. And let's not talk about your narrow ass wallet. That's skinny too. Everything about you is skinny. So I don't know what you're trying to talk about me for. Got skinny ass lips, skinny ass personality, skinny ass attitude, skinny ass wallet, and skinny ass dick. You the worst. All I got is a skinny body, and I can gain weight. You can't do nothing with that shit you got. I would have to clown him a little bit first. But yes, thank you, Sliver Screen. Skint. I'm happy I learned what that word means. No, he's this dude. I would have to clown. But get rid of him, okay? Because before it affects you to the point where you slip back into eating disorder world, you don't need to be there. You don't need a man like this around you. Question number 16. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Austin, Texas. Sorry, issue. I was groped by a friend of a friend last night. How do I move on? Last night after an office party, I left with a friend from work and we went to his place. Then we hung out with his roommate. My friend and I were decently drunk, and the roommate also had a few drinks after we came. In the early hours of the morning, we went on a drive in my friend's car. My friend was driving, I was sitting shotgun, and the roommate was in the back. At this point, I was still a little drunk. During the drive, I felt the roommate's hand slide under my shirt from the back. I called it out, and that stopped. After we came back home, my friend asked me again, and I explained to the best of my abilities, and he apologized and said he'll confront his roommate. I came back home, and I haven't stopped thinking about it. I called the friend again, and I told him I wasn't feeling okay, and he offered to meet up and spend some time with me, but I just wanted to be alone. I haven't told my boyfriend any of this because he's not in the city, and he would worry about me. I don't want him to go through that. I only told another mutual friend about this, and she offered to talk if I wanted to. It's confusing. I want to be alone, but then I want to be with company. I don't want to talk about it, but then I can't stop thinking about it. The more I think about it, the blurrier it gets. I don't know how to deal with this. What should I do? Nothing. What can you do? So he touched some skin under your shirt and you yelled and he stopped. Okay. It's not a nice thing to do, but on the scale of things that constitute assault, that's like very low on the scale. What you should have done, though, if it was going to bother you that much. See, I turned to just like turn around and punch the fuck out of him. Something like that. Undone my seatbelt, leaned between them seats, and went to work. You wanted to talk about that and hit him right in his nuts. Because you want to be touching somebody. This is what your repercussions for that. But you didn't, and you froze, which is a lot of ladies have told me here that women tend to react in two ways. There's one, the deer in headlights one, where they just freeze. And then there's the ones like me that get mad and go to put in some work on your ass. So, there's going to be two different kinds of responses. So knowing me, the car would have wrecked because I would have been fists and feet flailing everywhere, hitting every damn body. You don't touch me, motherfucker. You don't lost your goddamn mind. And then it would have commenced from there. So in this situation like this, you're going to focus on it to the point where it's going to drive you crazy. I want you to stop. Okay. It's like I said, on the scale of what it could be, this is extremely low. This is like almost nothing. You talked about it. The guy, your friend, is aware of it. Now you're going to put some things in place so to make sure something like this doesn't happen to you again. What mistake did you make that put you at a risk for this kind of violation? I'm not saying you're right. I'm not saying he's right and that you're at fault. I'm telling you how to mitigate risk when you don't know the men that you're drinking with. Okay, that is a mistake. Even when you know them, sometimes it's a mistake. That's what they have, that date rape stuff is called. But you didn't even know this roommate. It's your first time seeing this guy, and yet you're sitting around there getting drunk with him until the wee hours of the morning. Don't ever do that again. You're in their territory, and you don't know nothing about this roommate, what kind of man he is, what his criminal record is. You don't know anything. But you're around there putting yourself in a very vulnerable position around this man. Okay, never, ever, and all of you listening to me, never, ever do that unless you packing a stun gun and you're going to drop a motherfucker the second he gets out of pocket. But you obviously weren't, so don't. Okay, you should have, when you guys left, put you on a train or whatever and gone home after your office party. You got a man. You don't need to go hang out with two dudes. Okay, so you made a bunch of poor choices here. There was no other women there, just you with two dudes. A dude you knew from work and some dude that you never laid eyes on before, and you getting drunk. So you made a whole bunch of bad moves and decisions here that just increased your risk tremendously. Luckily, the guy that you work with, it seemed to be a decent dude because he wasn't participating in all that. But you need to think about what I'm saying here, and don't ever put yourself in a situation like that again. You're not going to no dude's house that you're not dating or that's a relative, and even then it's risky shit. Take your little ass home. That's what you should have done after your office party. Yeah. But she just that's too trusting. Too trusting. I mean, like when you go into a dude's house, I mean, okay, I'm just saying when I was young and I go to a dude's house, right? You go to a dude's house and he's got a roommate or two, I dip right, I turn, make a U-turn and go right back out. You ain't getting me caught up in no bullshit here. Because the dude that you came with might not even be a party to what's about to happen. But if they tie him up or beat his ass or drug him or something, what you gonna do? Maybe I've been watching too many crime movies, but I always thought about that. You walk in, he got two roommates, right? Or one, and they giving you the look like this. Oh, I'm leaving. It's nice to meet you. Yeah, thanks for bringing me over here to meet your roommate and stuff. But I gotta go. I changed my mind. I'm not gonna stay. And come on, no. And then I leave. I'm not getting in those situations like that where I'm gonna be there drinking and all messed up, and then somebody slips something in my drink, or suddenly 2 or 3 other dudes show up, and now it's 5 or 6 dudes, and I'm the only girl there. I'm not gonna put myself in any kind of risky situation like that. Whereas y'all seem to just love to do stuff, but you don't even be thinking about it. You feel like, well, I'm here with him, and so like he's gonna be able to protect you against 3, 4, 5 dudes. Don't do it. Think before you put yourself in situations. Look at the video called "And Then What?" that I put it. That's a 2-part video. Every single decision that you make, before you make it, you need to think about what'll happen if you do this, A, B, or C. What and then what could happen, and then what? And sometimes people say, "Well, Deb, you be thinking stuff is far fetched." No, it's not, because you would go on Google and do a search and see what that happened to 20 women yesterday. Just like I'm saying, I'm not gonna do that. And I know, if some dudes, I mean, they will beat your dude's ass. They will tie him up. Sometimes they'll do worse things to him. And then you're there stuck all by yourself. And this day of sex trafficking and all this other funny stuff that be going on, y'all that want to go up in these dudes' houses that you just met and be drinking and eating the food and stuff, you're crazy. You're crazy. I don't even understand what kind of lack of self-protectiveness you have. And he's not coming to my house, and I'm definitely not going to his. But if he's coming to mine, I'm going to have like 27 of my friends there for backup. You all need to be thinking. I mean, the society that we live in today is so crazy. It's so vile, so anti-woman. And so you guys got to think more. You have to think about how to protect yourself and not be so free and easy with your bodies and your safety. You've got to put stuff in place and think about what could happen and who are these people and all this kind of stuff. What kind of character do they have? And you're not going to find that out just showing up their house and drinking and smoking. And you know what kind of smoking I'm talking about. All that stuff reduces your inhibitions and your sense of danger and risk. You need to not do that. You want to drink and shit, you get a couple of your girlfriends and have y'all a pajama party. Y'all sit there, play some music, and have a good time at your house or one of their houses with no dudes there and the door locked. Question number 17, female 22 to 27 from London. Ooh, that gets scared the shit out of me. Summary of issue: I'm facing a real dilemma with my visa sponsor. I'm currently in a 5-year relationship with my partner, who is also the sponsor of my residency visa, awaiting approval. 2 months ago, I visited a fine dining restaurant and met a Sami, I don't know how to pronounce that, who caught my eye. At the end of my dining experience, he gave me dessert wine on the house before kneeling down to ask if he could see me again. I immediately said that I'm flattered, however, I'm already taken. He respected my answer and we ended it there. But since then, he's not left my mind. I'm considering going back to see him again and to explore the spark we had. No, you're not. No, your dumb ass is not. He seemed to be the complete opposite of my current partner and has maturity and class that I'm looking for in a man. I just feel like I am a mom to my current partner. And in return, I have not been invited on a date or been told that I'm appreciated, missed, or loved. Deb, this has also been the reason why I have not been intimate with my partner for at least 6 months now. Looking for advice. Okay, you dumb too. Okay, first of all, this man is at work and he's inappropriately hitting on a woman who came there to as a client, a guest, a customer of this job. But he's more worried about that than he is his job performance. Inappropriate. I don't understand why you would think that a guy who would do something like that is someone that has class. What did you say? He's got class and whatever, and that's why you want to see him. He's trash. He's garbage. He's trying to work on his sex life while he's getting paid on the clock. Okay, that's a no-no. You think that man who owns the restaurant is paying him to go and try to get a swerve on with the customers? He's not paying him for that. Now, you knowing that, or should be knowing that, should realize that this guy is inappropriate. If you have a guy who's so overtly inappropriate at his place of employment, please don't understand why. I mean, do you not have reason to think that he would stay appropriate with you? It's not going to happen. The man has already showed you his character. He's garbage. Don't you guys understand this? This is driving me crazy. It's driving me nuts how dumb so many women are. It's like y'all just don't connect any kind of dots at all. You just going in there all blind. Well, because he gave you a little glass of some cheap ass wine and he's whispered some rich French word or something. Now all of a sudden, you sprung and you want to be chasing after him. And your dumb ass is here on a visa. You get messed up and dude that you living with who's sponsoring you is going to toss your ass up out of here. Worse yet, if you open your mouth and tell the other dude that you here on a visa and suddenly you disappear into sex trafficking land and no one ever sees you again. You know why? Because your dumb ass would have walked right into the trap thinking that you was getting some fucking attention that you're not getting home. You stupid. Okay? Stay your ass where you are till you get your residency visa and then you just go and do what you're going to do. But right now you need to slow down and learn how to handle yourself because you not thinking clearly. That's not the way that you do this kind of stuff. And you looking at a man who tell you his character right there at work, and yet you don't even understand what just happened. You're not collecting any kind of dots about this guy's character. He's a bullshit motherfucker. And you're not going back to that restaurant ever. Whew. Question number 18, female, 22 to 27, from Rochester, New York. Summary of issue: how do I tell my boyfriend that his hair is thinning? What, you don't think he knows? He blind or something? I can't figure out how to tell my boyfriend that his hair is thinning. I don't particularly care if he's balding. I love this guy. We've been together for 8 years, and I love him when we're both old and gray. The thing is, I know he would care. I think part of him knows, but he doesn't want to voice it. And I know the best way to deal with hair loss is to get ahead of it. He's very sweet and can be insecure. I know he would want to know. I'm just not sure how to tell him, and any advice would be greatly appreciated. You're not going to tell him. You're not going to tell him something that's like so in his face already, Captain Obvious. You just want to rub it in his face. What kind of girlfriend are you? What you do is you give him some nutrition because, hair loss is usually about nutrition, what you're eating or not eating. So like folic acid, iron, zinc, biotin is one that's, some people use for hair growth. Calcium, enough water, like because hair and nails, is calcium is important there. Does he eat a lot of green vegetables and fresh fruit? That's the kind of stuff that you want to be helping him. That's what you do. I mean, some of it's hereditary and it's just not going to matter. But, he needs some good protein. He needs some good nutrition. And look around long line and see if they have something called hair vitamins. And it will probably most likely have all this kind of stuff in it. What was I thinking of? Oh, I know, because I knew this. I had a client whose hair was thinning too. And I put her on a diet. We had to boost up her omega-3s. So I had her making like flaxseed pudding, eating almonds and walnuts, and a square of dark chocolate, like 80% chocolate, and and fish, especially salmon and other kinds of seafood, all high in omega-3s, which most people don't get enough of. They get a lot of omega-6s from red meat and, chicken and stuff like that, but not omega-3s. So your hair needs that to grow and for your skin to look good. So look at all of those things I just said and see what you can do to start feeding your man so that he can have better nutrition and his hair stop thinning. But you're not going to tell him and rub it in his face. You just do your trifling. What kind of girlfriend are you? Question number 19. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Montreal. Yeah, Shayhan, get the likes up, people who ain't clicking on the like button. They just listening and laughing. She's some of it. My 35-year-old boyfriend. No, wait, she's 35 and he's 40. Has anger issues and calls me names. Okay. My boyfriend gets easily annoyed at everything, even on simple things. The simplest of the simple, he would get angry. When there's an argument between the two of us, he won't stick to the issue at hand, but rather starts calling me names like I'm a retard, a C word, a B word, a D word, a moron, etc. Wow. I asked him a million times not to say that to me. I asked in a nice way and sometimes in a harsh way. I also threatened him that I would break up with him if he continued to degrade me. But obviously, I'm still with him. Yeah, because you're stupid. We broke up a couple of times and he promised to change, but he never does. He don't need to because you just going to come squirreling right back. There's no reason for him to change because you're never going anywhere. You complain, but you don't do nothing. He also has a drinking problem. I'd say he's a functioning alcoholic. He never apologizes after those name callings and even the fights of sides. No apologies at all. I am sick and tired of him treating me like this, but of course, I love him. How do I handle this? There's nothing I can say to you because you're stupid. Yes, and yet she stays. That's my new line. There's nothing for me to say here. You already know this is trash and garbage, and he's trash and garbage, and yet you stay there. So what do you want? What is it that you expect me to do? You've already pointed out all the man's for he's a functioning alcoholic, he's verbally and emotionally abusive, and he's violent. And yet you stay with him, you break up, you go right back, you threaten to leave, but you don't go. What does you think that I can do about this? The only thing I can do is tell you how stupid you are. Maybe none of your friends have ever said that. You're stupid, you act desperate, and you just dumb. And so when a man knows that he has a woman who's desperate and dumb, he doesn't have to treat her well because she's not going to go anywhere. He's more important to her than she is to herself. So he's going to dog you out, and he's going to keep dogging you out until finally one day you wake up and you leave. Hopefully you'll be still in one piece when that happens before he stop punching walls and stuff and start punching you. That's usually how this goes. And then you finally wake up after you be in the hospital a couple of times and be like, oh my, I guess I should have listened and I should have broke up when I had the chance. But oh no, now I have 17 broken bones and I don't know what to do. My face is all fucked up and I need plastic surgery and but I love him though. Question number 20. Female 22 to 27 from Macon, Georgia. I moved back in with my parents recently and caught my dad staring at my chest a few times. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh. Y'all, I really, really try to not be drinking when I do the show. This is just some flavored water. See the little pink cup? It's these little things I dump in my water. It gives it flavor and taste, so it's just not plain water, but it's no booze in it. Okay. Ugh. So I graduated from my master's program. I'm 25 and moved back in to live with my parents earlier this year while I was between jobs. I moved out at 18 for college and only came back now. I put on some weight, and the women in our home generally have bigger busts to begin with. Ever since I moved in, I've caught my dad, who I'm super close with since childhood, who never made me feel uncomfortable once in my life, staring at my chest a few times. He'll avert his eyes once I turn towards him, and because of this, I've started wearing looser t-shirts and underwear inside the house, which you should have been doing anyway. I don't want to talk about this with my mom or sister, who I know will make a big issue out of this, and I'm not close enough with any friends to open a subject as sensitive as this. Well, what do I do? You move out. And, this is just me, but I don't understand with you young girls that want to walk around with no underwear on in a house around men that aren't your man. Put some fucking bras and panties on. And don't be wearing booty shorts and shit like that around your brothers, your daddy, your uncles and shit like that. Your sister, your brother-in-laws and all that kind of stuff. Put on some goddamn clothes. It's just fucking ridiculous. I don't know what the fuck you think you need to be proving all you're showing all your body for just because you in the house where you live. Okay, have some respect for the people that are living in the house, and have some fucking respect for the male guests that come in the house and their women. Put on some fucking underwear. Your titties don't need to be swinging all in the room in the wind and bouncing every goddamn place, and you don't need to be showing ass cheeks when you bend over or sit on the couch and all this other stuff like that. Put on some fucking clothes, or stay your ass in your room. Yeah, this is her day, but see, okay, he's a man. That's what I'm saying. He's not touching her. He's not saying anything to her, but he's looking. And you know why he's looking? Because the titties are swinging and bouncing and jiggling. So of course he's going to look. I mean, who wouldn't look? There are going to be women who would look because it's just that right there. That's why you wear proper undergarments. Okay? And you don't want to do that, then you move the fuck out, and then you could be in your house where you live all by yourself doing whatever you want to. But you in a house with some grown men, put on some goddamn underwear. Little trifling, little troll ass girls, just little nasty asses. And then but I'm at home. It's not your house. It's not your house. You're in someone else's house. Put on some fucking clothes. And you're going to go to your house and do that where you pay all the bills and you don't want to live there, then that's when you can do that. As long as you're living under somebody else's roof, you need to respect the other women that live there, the other women that come there, and the men who live and come there. And when people say, well, you're body shaming me. No, I'm not, ho. You're just acting just trifling. You just want to be showing everything and running around. It's not necessary for you to run around the house like that in front of other people's husbands and your brothers and stuff. It's just you just trying to trigger some male imagery on purpose. And then you want to be acting all defensive about it. Put on some goddamn clothes. You see what I mean? And you got some giant ass titties and stuff. What you doing? What would you even think to walk around the house braless for? Well, where did that thought even come from? That you would think that was an appropriate thing for you to do? And then you're going to be upset because people look. Well, you were doing it so people could look, right? So shut up. Question number 21, female, 35 to 41 from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Summary of issue. I'm lost about my marriage. How do I know if I should stay or if I should move on? You should move on. You should move on. Okay, I'm seeing that at one point he was 500 pounds. Oh, yeah, you should move on. This letter is way too long. Let me skip. This letter must be old. Okay, so she's not happy with her husband. He's a homebody. He don't really like to hang out. Well, yeah, people that weigh 400 or 500 pounds usually don't. She says, to make matters worse, I have a male friend that I've gotten close to that's starting to rip at me emotionally. He seems like everything I want. Nothing has happened, though. He isn't perfect either, but his unique combination of attributes, personality, character, and viewpoints is super desirable to me. I am trying not to let this grass be greener facade guide me, but it's hard when I have a living example right in front of me. For anyone thinking that I'm trying to find an excuse to be with this other guy, it's not that. It's mostly that I fantasize of having time to all to myself to figure out exactly what it is that I want. Not going to lie, part of the dilemma is that I know this would shatter my husband's world. I hurt for how much heartbreak and destruction I would cause him. I don't know what this is that I'm going through, but I feel unfulfilled, and I don't know why. It's so confusing, and I can't think clearly. I don't know what to do next. You're going to go and get yourself a shrink, and you're going to start some therapy. Because you know what? I'm going to tell you this. You in that age group, right? Like your second Saturn's return. The first one's around 27. You're in that 35 to 41 age group. So, yeah, around 40 is when it happens again. And you start to look at your life and you start to think about the things that you wanted for yourself as a young girl and what you have. And a lot of women feel really dissatisfied and kind of confused and lost. They look, if they're in a marriage, they look at their husband like it's his fault. In reality, it's your fault. You're dissatisfied with yourself, but you're looking outside instead of within. That's why I want you to go to a shrink and figure out what it is that you want. And then I want you to start doing that thing. And it's not going to have anything to do with some other man. It's going to have to do with you fulfilling yourself and whatever these needs are that you've been in denial about. Usually it's something creative. So start there. Don't touch your marriage yet. Don't you dare touch that other dude. You're going to get a touch a shrink. That's what you're going to do. I suggest twice a week sessions for at least a month to get you, a good solid foundation, as long as your therapist has time for that. And then you could go down to once a week, maybe a month or 2, 3 down the road. But you need some intensive therapy right now because you're about to fuck your life all up. Question number 22. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from the UK. Some issue. What is the best way for me to ask my neighbor? I love how they put that "boor" in there. To not let his door slam. I'm in my mid-20s and I live in a block of flats. And my neighbor always lets his door slam closed no matter what time of day or night it is. Our doors physically couldn't be any closer together. And when he slams his door, it literally shakes my entire flat because the doors are so heavy. Sometimes it's really late at night and I have sensory issues, so hearing an insanely loud bang shakes my flat multiple times a day and sometimes makes me jolt awake is not ideal. I want to ask him to please close the door quietly. It's very easy to do, but we have never spoken, so I don't really feel comfortable approaching him. I don't want to be on bad terms with him, and I don't think it's a huge ask, but I'm a very anxious person, and I'm scared to ask him in person, seeing as though it'll be the first time we've ever spoken. And I feel like a note may come across as passive aggressive. What do you think is the best method to approach this? I would talk to him in person. I would go over there with a plate of cookies or some neighborly bullshit, whatever they do, tea and crumpets. I don't know, whatever you do in the UK. And knock, 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 and say, howdy, neighbor. I would like to introduce myself. My name is Cassandra, and I live right next door, right here. I would like to offer you these cookies so we can have a little conversation. Do you have some coffee? Let's sit down and talk. Okay, so he's going to sit down, and you're going to sit there and cross your legs and talk a little bit about yourself. And then say, well, the reason why I'm here is because I wanted to bring your attention to the door slamming and let you know. I mean, I don't think you're really aware of it because I can't imagine that you would be someone who would do something like that intentionally. But I wanted to ask you if you could close the door, concentrate on closing the door quietly, especially at night when I'm trying to sleep. So I have to get up early the next day and I keep getting awakened at night. And it's really kind of, it scares me. So I wake up like that. And he's like, well, it doesn't seem like it's that loud. Oh, contrary. So let me see. I want you to stand right there right by my door. And I'm going to go by your door and I'm going to slam it. And so you can see what it feels like and see how much my whole apartment shakes. And he's like, okay. So then you go and you do it and you slam. And then you let him say, oh my God. So he can hear the glasses shaking on your counter and every that stuff. Say, see, that's what I mean. It's not, I wouldn't come over here unless it, it was really bad. Because, what's the big deal? But since it's such a repetitive thing, I wanted to bring it to your attention. So, we could hopefully work out something that we can both get good rest at night. What do you think? How's that sound? And just be nice about it. Just be chill. Because, you yelling and ranting and raving is not going to get you a response. You want him to, to try to understand your position. So you bring biscuits? Oh, okay. She said you bring biscuits, not cookies. Okay, so you bring biscuits, and then you just go over there and sit down. But that's what I would do. Well, you're right, TNT. It's like, I've been doing this too long. So, by the time you read a couple of sentences, you already know where it's going. It's like I can see into the future and see that they on some bullshit. Question number 23. That means we got 3 left. Oh, let me show you guys what's coming up. What's coming up? Okay, this is on our Sunday show, right? So be sure to go to the show page and click the reminder button so you can get a reminder so you don't miss the discussion, okay? The next thing we're going to have starting in a couple of weeks now, got a couple of weeks to go, we're going to start having our our summer programming, which is the Dusty News Network, the DNN. What do we do there? What kind of show is that, you might be wondering? Well, what we do is people collect dusty memes and graphics and things from all over the internet. They take screenshots of weird conversations and posts, and they send them to us to survivingdating@gmail.com with the subject line of DNN or Dusty News. This is an example. Here's a couple of examples of what we have, what kind of stuff we do. Y'all and them lashes, you know you need to stop. Or something like this. He looks easy and I didn't respect him. So you see, this is the kind of stuff that we do. It's completely nonsensical, don't have nothing intelligent. Well, sometimes it is intelligent, but for the most part, we just be making fun of people and just like, face palming at people's stupidity. So that's what we do in the summer on this channel on Friday nights all through the summer, the Dusty News Network. So if you're not a subscriber, please hit that subscription button and make sure you become a part of it so you don't miss it. Because we'll start that. I forgot. It's like the third Friday in June, and it goes through Labor Day. Sometimes more if I have a lot of material. So if you have something you want to send in, it's survivingdating@gmail.com and make the subject line DNN. Okay. So let's move on. Let's do question number 23. This is a young lady in the 22 to 27 age group from West Virginia. Summary of issue. My boyfriend's friends drink to the point of blacking out. Wow. They don't have any other hobbies or interests. I don't really drink. They decline invites to activities or events that don't have alcohol, and I'm having trouble connecting with them. He's been with the same group of people since he was in middle school. Wow. There are only 2 girls in the group and they're best friends. So they usually exclude themselves from the rest of the group. It leaves me to only talk to my boyfriend and the guys. Well, then why do you go? The biggest issue is I have nothing in common with his friends, even the girls. I was never someone who drank much, and my boyfriend's out of that stage in his life. But his friends drink a lot. It's the only thing they do for fun. Every time we hang out with them, they all get blackout drunk. Wow. We literally don't do anything but sit on the couch and watch them drink. Despite this, my boyfriend still likes to see them because they share memories and inside jokes. Most of them revolving around times they were drunk. This is sad. And whenever I decline drinks, they ask me stuff like, are you having fun? Why don't you have a shot to loosen up? We've tried to invite them bowling, walks, picnics, and movies, but they always decline. I don't know what to do. They mean a lot to my boyfriend, and he sees some of the guys as his brothers, but I feel so out of place and lame around them. I've tried talking to him about it, but he doesn't seem to understand my perspective because they've been like this their entire friendship, and his family is like this too. So he sees it as normal. Okay, so you with a man who just got drunk friends and drunk relatives, and you wondering what you should do, you should deuce out. Okay, think about this. Okay, you a young lady, and you at that age where people 22 to 27, people start thinking about getting married, right? So what you would be having is children that would be around drunk relatives and drunk friends. Is that the life that you want to have and raise a family with? Because they would be coming to your house and they would be drunk and blacking out around your children in your house. Or you would bring your children around them and they would be blacking out and drunk and stuff, and probably giving alcohol to your kids when you weren't looking. Not only that, alcoholism tends to be hereditary. So if your man comes from a family of drunks, bet your kids are going to have some alcohol problems, which usually escalates into other kinds of problems. So I'm looking into your future, and all I see is everything all bad because of the choice that you're making right now. Like, this is the only man on the planet that you could be with, one who's got drunk friends and drunk relatives. So not just where they drink, but to the point where they pass out. Because my auntie Alma, now that lady used to drink. She would drink and she would walk around. You don't have to demo. My auntie would walk around like this is her cigarette and this is her glass of yak. She walk around like this, sipping, puff, sip, puff. And I never saw her without a cup in her hand full of Hennessy. That's my family's drink of choice, Hennessy, aka yak. I've never saw that woman without a drink, but you know what? I also never saw her incoherent, and I never saw her pass out or black out or anything like that. She always, kept her sensibilities. My dad too. So I've never seen people do what you're talking about, and I didn't. Yak, yes, yak. That's what they call it. So I just don't even understand what it is that you're getting out of this relationship. You don't have, these are his friends. He considers those his brothers. He's going to have your kids around his people that he considers to be his brothers. Is that what you want? Would you be comfortable with that? I wouldn't, especially if I had little girls. I sure wouldn't. I don't know what you're thinking, but this doesn't sound like a relationship that's going anywhere. Female, question number 24. Female, 22 to 27 from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Summary of issue. I'm going out to eat with my boyfriend and my best friend. Who do you think should pay? I'm introducing my boyfriend to my best friend for the very first time. We are all in our early 20s. All three of us are going out to this dinner. Normally, my boyfriend and I either take turns paying the bill or we split it. How should we go about paying this time? Should I pay for everyone's meals? Should everyone pay for their own meals separately? Do you know how stupid you sound right now? First of all, you the one that's calling this mass meal deal here. You want to introduce your best friend to your man. So guess what? This is your invite, and that means it's on you, girl. You paying for everybody. That's what that means. Now, if you didn't want to pay for everybody, the thing, you should do lunch instead of dinner. It's only an hour or so. And, you're not stuck trying to, awkward departure in case they don't like each other and stuff. You should switch that to lunch. It's less expensive. You can afford to go to a nicer place for the same amount of money and maybe sit outside or something like that, which you can't really do at dinner time because it starts getting cold. So switch it to lunch. You guys meet for lunch. Lunch is quicker, an hour and a half at the most. You be in and out. You guys shake hands. You head off with whoever you leaving with, and then it's a done deal. And lunch, like I said, tends to be less expensive than dinner. So even if you do pay, you still won't be paying all that much. All right. But yeah, this is a simple one. It's your invitation. You the host. You the one that want to be introducing every damn body. So you're going to pay for it. Question number 25. This is a male in the 20 to 34 age group from Spokane, Washington. Summary of issue. In the humblest way possible, I'm a very fit and handsome white guy, but my type is chubbier, thick women. And I find that the women I'm meeting are very often insecure about that. Oh, yeah, your culture is not into chubbiness. I had these clients. I would just have to tell you about these people. Okay, I worked out in Livermore, and it was like all my class was white except for, no, all of them. I'm just trying to think. Maybe one Asian, but everybody else was white. Okay, white females. Never in my life have I did not know this prior to this experience, but they don't care really too about how much the rest of their body looks as long as they have a flat stomach. Now, the younger ones now are worrying about having some booty, but, we're talking, early 2000s through the, late 2000s, to teens. Now, I worked out there. And, that's all it was. I knew this one. She was all kinds of misbuilt. I mean, had like a Shrek back and just looked a hot mess. I tried to work with that woman's body, but she just wanted to eat junk. So what she did was she spent money, on training. I mean, they did keep it down to low roar, but she went and got liposuction in LA for the fat so that when she came back, she could have a flat stomach. Even though she turned around and she looked a hot mess from the back, she didn't care as long as she looked in the mirror and she saw that she had a flat stomach. That was when I became exposed to that aspect of white culture. So, being chubby is not looked upon fondly. Black women, we adjust to that. We call it thick, and like you call it thick, curvy, all that kind of stuff. Don't nobody care. It's like, dudes be like, yes, your back look like Shrek. I'm sorry. But, dudes be like, when I was down in Texas, I heard these men talking about they didn't like no skinny women. And this one dude told me that's why dogs bury bones. I was horrified because that's when I was running and stuff. I was skinny. And he was like, oh, no, you need to eat, sister. And then he's like, that's why I like me a big girl because she warm in the winter and shade in the summer. I will never forget they told me that. Here I come from California, running and eating wheatgrass and all that kind of stuff down in Texas. Some Texas woman was looking at me, girl, you need to eat you some pork chops and some biscuits and stop eating like that grass and weeds like you steal from California. It was amazing. Yes, exactly. But, it was just like, they like some curves. They like some thigh. They like, when you put on some shorts and be like, the shorts are hugging you. They not like hanging with all the space and everything because your legs is thick. And you got some calves and you put on heels and you strut around and dudes be like, ooh, wee. That's what they like. So it's a difference in culture. You know what I mean? So you like the look that typically Black men like. So let's see what you got to say. This is interesting. I work out a lot. It's very important to me. I tend to attract a lot of women who are similarly very into fitness and gym culture. But honestly, Deb, I have a different preference for the women I'm into. I want her to be healthy, of course, for her own well being. So it's not a fetish or something weird. I just love and appreciate softness and curves. I can still find women of all body types attractive too, and personality is most important. But we all have types we prefer, and this is mine. But when I do meet a woman who's my ideal type and the personality connection is there, they often end up being very insecure. Like it doesn't matter how much I reassure them or build them up, they feel badly about themselves. It makes me feel sad for them. I know confident, thick women exist, but where can I find it? Where can a together fit white guy find them? I would say look at Latinas and look at Black women. That's what you need to do. And then you could find that. Because I know I remember reading some studies that said, the most confident Black women, the most confident women confident about body size are Black women. They're very accepting and very, no matter lifetimes, no matter how big they are, they still think they fine as hell. Everybody may not agree, but the confidence is there. That's what I'm saying. So you might want to investigate that. I don't know how many Black women live in Spokane, Washington, though, but look for it. I'm sure you can find it. He's in Spokane, Washington. I've been there one time. I was not impressed, so I never went back. But, see what you can do with that. And our final question of the night, this is question number 26, a young man in the 22 to 27 age group from, I don't know how to pronounce, Ojai Valley, California. I don't even know where that is. Summary of issue. What are breakup rules? What are the rules for phone call breakups? We've only dated for 2 months. I've been seeing this girl for like 2.5 months. She lives about 90 minutes away in Los Angeles. She's very infatuated with me, constantly says how much she misses me and likes me. The spark was there originally, but now I'm not feeling it anymore. I like being with her in the moment, but I can't see myself long-term with her. Can I just call to break up? Obviously, I won't do it over text, but driving almost 2 hours to go see her seems like a waste of my time and gas. If we lived in the same town, I suggest grabbing coffee or something, but she's so far away. What are the rules about phone call breakups? Well, you only been dating her for 2.5 months, 2.5 months, and she lives an hour and a half away in LA. Phone call breakups to me are not ideal. And especially if it's a long-term relationship, somebody you've been seeing for months and months. But, within 90 days, you call it off. That's not even really anything to be bothered about. So just do it over the phone. Just call her up and say, hey, how you doing? How your mama doing? And then you just be like, I decided something over the weekend. I'm not going to see you anymore. We're ending this. We're breaking up. And she's going to be like, but why? What did I do wrong? Oh, my God. Why? And then you're going to say, I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. There's no future here. So I don't want to waste your time and have you hanging on and thinking it's going to be something. It's not going to be nothing. It's ending today. Okay, so bye. And then you hang up. That's the advantage of doing it over the phone. You don't have to deal with their, crying and begging and hanging on to you and, all this kind of stuff. I see everybody up there talking about the Shrek back comment. You just don't understand that shape she had was not cute. But she came back with a flat stomach, so she was happy. Yeah. Okay, so bye. Notice I said it kindly. I said it sweetly. But, dude, don't worry about it. 2 months in, that's no big deal. You really, if you want to, you could just ghost her. But, you probably don't want to do that. So just do it by phone. Were it I, though, I would just ghost her and be like, next. Yes, I'm trying to tell you. So anyway, I'm glad you guys were here, and I hope you enjoyed that novelty conversation. I know it's a bunch of nonsense, but, we're gearing up for DNN. So, you got to, let's see, where's my DNN banner? Oh, here we go, right here. You got dusty content for a future show. This is it. It's Surviving Dating, all one word, at gmail.com. And you make the subject line DNN or Dusty News. They both filter into the same folder. We are going to start picking those probably next weekend. We're going to start picking those for the first 2 shows. And then as more new ones come in, we'll start incorporating those as well. But we do have a couple of people have been sending them in already, like all year long. So we have a couple, we have a lot to start with. So we're going to get going with those and then see where your submissions take us. It should be fun. I'm kind of looking forward to it. I need some laughs. So other than that, you guys enjoy your rest of your day. I'll see you guys on Sunday. Be sure to visit the page on YouTube and hit that reminder button so that you get a notification in case you forget that the show is starting, so you can hurry up on over here and not miss the discussion. We need you as part of this conversation to talk about marriage and these new rules that these dudes are trying to get in place about making you stay with a man that you married to forever and you can't leave him under any circumstances. It's kind of interesting. So I'll see you soon. Okay. Bye-bye.